Hello everyone. For my second discussion board for week 1, I am going to be focusing on prompt 3, which is Vtgotsky scaffolding and zone of proximal development. And for this, I am going to be learning a new word in a different language and how to pronounce it. So the word I will be learning is in German, and it is the German word for education. I chose to do this because my family comes from German roots, and my grandmother was German. She grew up there until she was about 23 years old, and so I have always wanted to learn this language, so this might just be my first step in doing that. So the first thing that we're going to do is the initial individual attempt. This could be kind of viewed as the trial and error stage to figure out which zone of development a student, in this case I, am in. It could either be the zone of eventual development, which is something the student cannot do. The zone of proximal development, which is something that the student can do as long as they have assistance, just they have the basic skill set needed to complete the task. Or it could be the zone of actual development, which is something the student can do completely independently and they have mastered the task. So for this attempt, I am going to show you guys what education is in German, and I will try to pronounce it without using any assistance from anything. So this is the word in German. I'm hoping it's not backwards for you guys. And I am going to try my best to pronounce this. So I am going to say Ausbildung. Ausbildung. And that is my initial attempt. So my struggle with this first initial attempt is that I have no prior knowledge of this language. I have heard it verbalized before when my grandmother would speak in German to her friends, but I really had no idea what they were talking about. And I also have no knowledge of how the letters themselves are pronounced. And so I don't have a lot of prior knowledge to back this up. So for the zone of proximal development, this will be my second attempt with assistance. So once again, it is just the zone in which a student can do something. They have the basic skill set, which in this case is I can speak and I'm able to read. So therefore I can pronounce this word, but I just need a little bit of assistance to get to that point. This is where students often learn the best. When they're trying to learn something, when they're trying to learn or master a new task, the zone of proximal development is where they're going to be able to move to reach that goal, since they have the assistance of someone that is more knowledgeable about the topic than they are. And in this case, that more knowledgeable person is Google Translate. So I am going to use the Google Translate voice feature, and I'm going to have them pronounce the word to me just at the normal speed, and then I am going to try my best to pronounce it after 1 or 2 tries. So, all right, here we go. This is the Google Translate pronunciation.
Ausbildung.
Okay, one more time.
Ausbildung. Ausbildung.
Oops. Ausbildung. Bildung. Okay. I received a little bit of assistance. It helped me with pronouncing the AU part of the word. So we're getting further into the process. We're working on it. This is an example of the zone of proximal development because, as I stated before, I have the basic knowledge on how to do this. I can speak. I am able to read, so that helps. But I just need the assistance of someone else to help me reach the point of mastery in this topic. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is the scaffolding techniques that I will use to help myself pronounce this word. So first I'm going to explain what scaffolding is. Scaffolding is a technique that involves changing the level of support that a student is given based on how they perform. So if a student is performing low, then they will receive more support and there will be more scaffolding. If they're achieving high, then they may not even receive any support at all if they can do the activity or complete the topic alone. So for my scaffolding techniques, I will be playing a YouTube video for myself of how to pronounce the word. And this is an example of scaffolding because I'm able to slow it down if I need to, if I'm not doing very well with the pronunciation, or I can play it at normal speed or even speed it up if I feel that is necessary, just to challenge myself a little bit more and be able to master the skill. This video also says the word in German and the word in English multiple times. So this is my attempt.
Ausbildung,
Okay, I'm gonna slow it down. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go.
Ausbildung,
Ausbildung. One more time. This is the point where I need a lot of support.
Ausbildung,
Ausbildung. Okay, I think I did it. So at this point, I could speed it up. I could put it in the normal speaking tone, and I would just need to practice a little bit more. So how is this an example of Vygotsky's theory as a whole? So Vygotsky's sociocultural theory, it focuses on emphasizing the role of social interaction and how it affects cognitive learning or cognitive development. And so this example that I have just conducted, I have learned a new word by interacting with, which it would be ideal to have another person help me with this, but in this case, a person on a video. I've interacted with someone else that is more knowledgeable than me in order to learn this new concept. Also, this kind of relates back to the cultural information and cultural tools that was discussed. This is a part of my culture or my background, and so it's important for me to be exposed to stuff like this because it's interesting to me and it is something that I can relate to as a student or just even as a person in general. The biggest part of this is I feel like the social interaction part of it. This will help me be able to interact with other people. If I eventually get further into this and master the topic of the German language, then I will be able to interact socially with other people who do speak the language, like my grandma's friends or some of my mom's friends from Germany. So that's kind of how it connects with the idea of Vygotsky's theory. Overall, I think it's important to realize that these stages don't happen this fast. They don't often happen this fast. I think that's important for me to learn too, especially just when considering my education, and to take things slow and to get the support from someone more knowledgeable than me, which is exactly what Vygotsky was trying to explain in this theory.